Most people are looking for ways to reduce their RMDs, their required minimum distributions from their traditional IRAs and 401ks in retirement. Now, high RMDs are a nice problem to have. They mean that you've saved up a good amount for retirement, but lower RMDs, all else being equal, mean that you have more flexibility, especially around your taxes in retirement. To do this, a lot of people fixate on Roth conversions to reduce their RMDs by directly moving money out of their tax-deferred accounts and into their tax-exempt accounts. And they can be really great tools. But the big downside with them is that you're just paying the taxes on that money early. That can make a lot of sense in the right situation, but it's not always appropriate. There is another option, though. You can use asset location to help reduce your RMDs over time by shifting growth out of your tax-deferred accounts and into your other accounts. We've already got a couple videos on what asset location is and how it works, and we've actually got one linked up in the corner here if you want to start from the beginning. But the basic idea boils down to, well, paying attention to which investments you put into which accounts. Your different investment accounts are impacted by taxes in different ways. So you want to make sure you're strategic about how you structure your portfolio so that you can get the best tax treatment possible and keep as much of your money as possible. And probably the biggest takeaway on the asset location is that you want to put the assets with the lowest growth and highest tax bill in your tax-deferred accounts, your traditional 401k and IRAs. This basically means putting your bonds in your tax-deferred accounts. As we saw last time, this can really improve your after-tax returns, meaning you have more money to spend at the end of the day, but it has another effect for our purposes here. By shifting that growth out of your tax-deferred accounts, it means that you'll have lower required minimum distributions when the time comes to start taking them than if you didn't pay attention to asset location. And even better, there's no cost to doing this, other than having to be a little bit organized. There's no big tax bill like there is with a Roth conversion. You just need to do a quick puzzle to slot your investments into the right place, and we'll actually be walking through how to do that next time. But how much does asset location actually impact your RMDs? Well, we can use the same example we used last time, though we can probably cut down the 30-year timeline there that we used previously, since probably don't have 30 years before you start your RMDs. But let's assume that we started using asset location 10 years ago, and we're going to start taking RMDs this year, in 2024. How much smaller are the RMDs going to be than they would have been if we didn't use asset location? And just as a quick reminder, like last time, we're assuming that we have a $1 million portfolio split evenly between our tax-deferred and tax-exempt accounts. We're also going to be in a 60-40 portfolio, so 60% stocks and 40% bonds. And we'll assume that our stocks will get a fixed return of 8% per year, and our bonds will get 3% per year. There's obviously no magic in these numbers, but they're in the right ballpark, and we need to use something. And also, just another reminder, the scenario where we don't use asset location will keep the weight of stocks to bonds between the tax-deferred and tax-exempt accounts the same through time. But the scenario where we do use asset location, we'll try and stuff all of our bonds in the tax-deferred account to transfer the growth over into the tax-exempt account. And specifically, that means that the allocation between the two accounts will change through time. So let's start looking at the numbers. Here at the very start of the example, you can see on the no asset location side that we've got both accounts equaled out and their allocations are both 60-40. And that's going to be static all the way through. But on the asset location side, our tax-exempt account is all stocks, and our tax-deferred account is 80% bonds. So let's run this out for 10 years. The no asset location side is obviously a bit bigger than it was 10 years ago, but everything is still level. The two accounts both have the same amount of money, and the allocations are still the same. But we don't see the same thing on the asset location side. The difference in the allocation between the two accounts has shifted a ton of growth over to the tax-exempt account, where we don't need to worry about RMDs. And a really crucial point here is that we actually have the same amount of growth in both scenarios. Both have $1.8 million pre-tax. The difference is that when we pay attention to asset location, we get to keep more of that money. But focusing on RMDs, because we shifted the growth to the tax-exempt side of things with asset location, we can see that the tax-deferred account in the no asset location scenario is actually a good deal bigger than when we do pay attention to asset location. So when we do out the math, we've got a pretty big difference in the size of the RMDs. Assuming that we'll be starting our RMDs in 2024 without using asset location, our RMDs will be a little bit less than $34,000 per year. However, if we do pay attention to asset location, because we moved a ton of the growth in our portfolio out of our tax-deferred account and into our tax-exempt account, our RMD is only about $27,000 per year. This means we have a difference of just shy of $7,000 per year. Or put differently, just by being a little bit organized and paying attention to which accounts you put your investments into, you can reduce your RMDs by more than 20% per year, depending on the specifics of your situation. To be blunt, that's pretty dramatic. And this isn't static. Even after your RMDs start, you're going to continue to move your growth out of your tax-deferred accounts. So the difference, just keep accumulating. Between improving your after-tax returns and reducing your RMDs, asset location is pretty clearly a powerful tool that you should be using in your investment portfolio. And next time, we're going to be walking through how to do that, how to solve the asset location puzzle, and figure out which accounts you should place your investments into. In the meantime, you can get started on possibly increasing your after-tax returns and decreasing your RMDs by downloading the Asset Location Matrix. Just head over to retirementresearcher.com/location. It's here on screen, and we've also got it down in the description below. And just remember, try to get your bonds in your tax-deferred account, if at all possible. If this was helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can see what we're up to. If you have any questions on this or any other questions that you'd like me to address, just drop them in the comments below. You can also check us out on the web at retirementresearcher.com and make sure to sign up for our weekly newsletter to keep up to date with everything that we're doing.